At the beginning of the movie, we are shown a farm of Spain where the bulls and their calves live. They grow up there and take training so that one day they can become very good fighting bulls. In the starting scene, we see some bulls who were still kids. They were talking to each other. That's when another bull enters the scene, which was also a calf, and his name was Ferdinand. He didn't do mischief with anyone. In fact, he used to take care of everyone, even if it's a small plant or a flower. So even today, Ferdinand was watering his same flower plant and looking at it lovingly, but luckily a truck comes there. So their attention goes that way and they start looking at the truck. That truck basically used to come to select some bulls for bullfighting. And today, a bull had to go from their farm as well, which will take competition in the biggest fighting show in Spain. There, that young mischievous calf Valiant tells his other friends that today, definitely, my father would be selected as he is very strong, and he can defeat anyone. Ferdinand was also quite sure that my father would be selected. He wanted, so because whoever was selected for that fighting show would become very famous. After a while, a lot of bulls come out of that place, and they fight with each other to give their best performance, because one of the strongest bulls among them was going to be selected for fighting. There, Ferdinand and Valiant's dads fight with each other with their horns, but in the end, Ferdinand's father wins, because of which Ferdinand and his dad was very happy. But on the other hand, Valiant and his father was very angry with them and they wanted to take revenge. But at the same time, Ferdinand also gets sad thinking that his father may get hurt during fighting in Spain's fighting show. So he goes and sits on his father's head and asks to him, "Why is it necessary for you to go for fighting? Can't we spend our lives in peace?" On this, his father tells him that, "My son, you always have to fight to stay alive, and this is a part of our life." After hearing this, Ferdinand has to obey his father, and his father finally leaves from that farm in a truck. There, Valiant was very angry with Ferdinand and his dad, so he crushes that favorite flower plant of Ferdinand, which makes Ferdinand even more gloomy. Somehow, he spends the night, but as soon as morning occurs, he hears the sound of a truck, so he runs out. But there he finds out that his father was not in that truck. He gets very scared and starts wondering whether his father has died or has he lost, and he has been kept there. Thinking all that, he gets very nervous and decides to escape from that farm. He immediately runs away from there without much thinking. People of the farm, seeing him escape, try to stop him and start running after him. Ferdinand does not lose courage. It was a little dark everywhere, but when he sees a train from a distance, he immediately runs and goes inside it. The train keeps moving, and when it stops at a place, Ferdinand also gets down from there, but while running, he falls from a slant height and becomes unconscious. But when a man along with his dog sees him, comes for his rescue, he brings Ferdinand to his home. And when Ferdinand opens his eyes, it was already morning and a little girl comes to him. Seeing her, Ferdinand gets nervous. The little girl comforts him and says, "Don't worry, I won't harm you." That little girl was the daughter of the same man who rescued Ferdinand last night, and her name was Nina. After a while, Ferdinand gets comfortable with Nina, and Nina gains his trust. After that, Ferdinand comes out from there. As he comes out, he gets very surprised because there was a very beautiful garden outside, and there were flowers and fragrance everywhere, which was Ferdinand's favorite. So he starts running in the garden, enjoys a lot. From that day, Ferdinand starts to live there, and time goes on like this. And now Ferdinand had grown up. Nina's father used to play the guitar while Nina used to play a lot with Ferdinand. And now they have a very deep friendship, and they all become best friends. Ferdinand had become such a big bull, but his nature was still childish, and he had no interest in fighting. He used to play with Nina like a kid. One day there was a very big flower festival in that town. So Nina tells her father that every year we take Ferdinand with us, and this year too, I will take Ferdinand with me. On that, Nina's father tells her that earlier Ferdinand was a small calf, but now he has become a big bull, and due to which people in the festival crowd might get scared after seeing him. This way, flower festival also might be ruined. After that, Nina has to obey his dad. Now Nina, being sad, takes some flowers with her father and goes from there in her truck. Ferdinand was left alone and sad behind, and that's when he sees Nina's sad face in front of his eyes. So he thinks that Nina must be very sad without me. She used to go with me every time, so this time, why don't I go there? After that, Ferdinand leaves for the flower festival. He was very polite there, But when Nina sees him, she tells him to go home, or else my dad would be very angry seeing you here. But Ferdinand says her that I won't do mischief at all. But before he could say anything further, he accidentally got bit by a honeybee from behind, due to which poor Ferdinand gets very scared and out of fear. He starts running here and there. He ruins everything that comes in his way. He spoils the flowers and causes a lot of damage. Seeing this, someone calls the animal control department. They immediately come there and catch Ferdinand and take him with them in their truck. Nina goes behind that truck saying that Ferdinand is innocent, but no one listens to her, as Ferdinand was a big bull and it was dangerous for him to be in the middle of all this. That truck takes Ferdinand to that same farm from where he ran away in his childhood. Ferdinand didn't want to come there at all, because he had very bad memories associated with that place. Ferdinand was very angry, so to calm him down, the owner of that farm, Moreno, sends a female goat, Lup, in the truck. Lup calms Ferdinand down and stop him. She tells him that, "You shouldn't be sad in this farm, everything will be fine." And that's what actually happens. When Ferdinand enters the farm, he sees all his old friends who all welcome him, except for that brown bull Valiant, who was very mischievous since his childhood. Valiant says to Ferdinand that, "After you left, I was living here very happily. Why did you come back?" Ferdinand talks to him very politely and says him that even I did not want to come here. I was forcefully brought here, but I definitely won't stay here that long. Somehow Ferdinand spends that night with Lup, where they meets with 3 artful hedgehogs who were there to steal their food. But Ferdinand don't harm anyone, and due to this those hedgehogs befriends with them. As soon as morning occurs, once again Ferdinand tries to escape from there, but due to the electric fence, he don't get success. On the same day, a very rich bullfighter, El Primaro, comes to that farm, who tells Moreno that he has come here to select the best bull with whom he will fight in the final fight. Moreno calls all the bulls to fight in the ring, so that El Primero can select the best of them. All bulls are left in the ring, and they start fighting with each other. But Ferdinand didn't want to fight with anyone, but Valiente and Guapo start fighting with each other. But when Valiente tells Guapo to look at El Primero, Guapo becomes unconscious after seeing him. Ferdinand goes to save him. El Primero gets very angry when he sees them. He tells Moreno that there should be skill with strength in the bull. But none of these bulls have this. But Moreno tells him to give his bulls one more chance. El Primero says him that my fight is just 2 days later, and before that, I need a best bull. Because of the unconsciousness of the Guapos, he is sent to butcher, but Guapo was very happy, because he thought that he was selected by El Primero, but he did not know that he was being taken to the butcher. Ferdinand tells Valiente that all this happened because of you. So Valiente says that after your departure, everything has changed here. Now here. Either someone special is sold, or his meat. Ferdinand was very sad, and he was missing Nina a lot. Meanwhile, Nina was also missing Ferdinand. Ferdinand hears Bones crying. Bones tells him that Guapo was my best friend, but today he is not among us. So if we don't want to reach Slaughterhouse like Guapo, we will have to fight. The next day, everyone was practicing apart from Ferdinand. But then Ang tells a secret to Ferdinand and says that, "I can't see properly. That's why I won't be able to win." But Ferdinand raises his hair with his tongue, which makes Ang see everything. He sees the beautiful scenery of nature for the first time. He gets very happy, and thanks to Ferdinand. Then Lup comes to Ferdinand and tells him to stop helping others and focus on training. Think of bullfighting as a dance. Hearing this, the horses on the other ground start making fun of Ferdinand and say that you don't even know how to dance. Then there is an amazing dancing competition between the bull and the horses, in which the bull wins. Ferdinand and his friends were very happy. Then Ferdinand asks all of them to run away from here, but they all refuse, because they didn't believe that the people outside the farm are good. Ferdinand convinces Lup to come with him, but Lup says that this place is surrounded. That's why we can't run away from here. Then Ferdinand gets an idea, and he asks those hedgehogs to help. Those hedgehogs make a plan that start helping them to quietly escape from there. During their escape, Ferdinand sees his father's horns and a lot of bells there, and he understands that after going to the ring, no one can defeat Matador. All those bulls got killed there. Then he tells Lup that we will have to go back, because I don't want to see my friend's horns hanging here. Then Ferdinand and the rest of all go to the bulls, and Ferdinand shows them the horn, and explains that no one can win from Matador, because all the bulls that have gone there have had to die, and all those horns are kept in that room, and Ferdinand convinces everyone to go with him. Everyone gets ready, but Valiant doesn't want to go there and he starts fighting Ferdinand. Ferdinand didn't want to fight him, but still Valiant starts to fight with him, and during the fight Valiant's horn breaks. El Primero also sees all this, and he chooses Ferdinand for tomorrow's fight, and Valiant is sent to the butcher. Ferdinand feels very bad for Valiant, and he makes a plan with his friends to save Valiant. Maquina breaks those electric wires, and all the friends of Ferdinand together lock those 3 horses in a room, and Ferdinand goes to Butcher to save Valiant, where he sees Valiant and he tells him to come with him. But Valiant says that my horn is broken and I am of no use. But Ferdinand tries to convince him to come with them. But then, Ferdinand hears the sound of Guapo, and he finds out that he was still alive. He tries to save him, but suddenly the machine turns on, and he starts going towards the cutter. Ferdinand tries to stop him, but he couldn't stop him. But at the right time, Valiant comes there to rescue. All the other bulls were very happy to see Guapo and Valiant again. But because of their noise, everyone wake up seeing this. Ferdinand makes everyone sit in the car, and the hedgehogs drive the car and take everyone away from there. But Moreno's people also follow them. The hedgehogs were doing furious driving, and during that time, they hit the car of Moreno's people and make it an accident. But when they goes ahead, they get stuck in traffic, seeing Moreno's people approaching toward them. All the bulls start running on the road, which makes chaos everywhere. Ferdinand takes all his friends to the station to take them to the village, but Moreno's people reach there too, so to escape from them, Ferdinand puts everyone on the train. But when he is about to climb, he is caught by Moreno's people. On the other hand, Nina's dad Juan gets the news of this incident, that some bulls were running on the roads, but the most dangerous bull among them has been caught. And today, there's a fight between him and El Primero. Now, to save Ferdinand, Juan decides to go there. On the other hand, Ferdinand is being taken to El Primero for the fight, and he confronts El Primero in the arena. But he does not attack El Primero and stands quietly. El Primero tries a lot to incite Ferdinand, but nothing happens to Ferdinand. But then, the people of El Primero forcefully stab him and provoke him, due to which he starts running here and there. That's when El Primero's red cloth gets stuck in his horns. El Primero tries to take it, but out of fear, Ferdinand starts throwing it. And during this, El Primero gets thrown out of the ground. El Primero gets very angry with this and starts attacking Ferdinand with a spear. But Ferdinand escapes his attack. The fight between them was getting more interesting and all audience were enjoying this. On the other hand, Juan and Nina also reach the ground. El Primero was very angry with Ferdinand, so he tries to kill him. But Ferdinand saves himself from his every attack. But when El Primero injures Ferdinand's leg, he couldn't control his anger and lifts El Primero with his horn. But when Ferdinand sees a flower under his foot, he becomes normal. Because of that flower, he starts missing his home. But then El Primero comes back with a sword to attack him. But Ferdinand sits there calmly and proves his goodness. Seeing this, everyone gets very emotional. But still, El Primero was about to kill him. That's when everyone starts shouting, "Don't kill that bull, leave him." Nina and Juan get very happy seeing this. Everyone was very happy, and start clapping for Ferdinand. El Primero also leaves him. After seeing all this, Nina comes to the ground, and both are very happy to see each other. Everyone becomes very emotional after seeing this. Then all the friends of Ferdinand come there, and they gets very happy to see Ferdinand. Then we are shown that Moreno leaves all of them at Nina's house, and everyone starts living there very happily. And with this, the movie comes to an end.